My name's Jesse Splan. I'm a realtor at Sotheby's International Realty. So I grew up in Alaska on a fish camp with no running water or power, and my parents were fishermen. And this was in the Cook Inlet in Beluga, Alaska, outside of Anchorage. So they used to go fishing every day, and then they'd catch the fish and bring it back to camp, and my dad would throw it in his plane and fly over to Anchorage, and he'd sell it. And so I spent a lot of my childhood sitting in my mom's arms as we flew, or even as I grew a little older, sitting on top of a phone book just to see over the dash. I mean, those are some of my early memories. I think what really transitioned me into the real estate aspect was I became so versatile and doing many things when I was like a videographer and working at the radio station, that the real estate business seemed like it really offered so many different dynamics, where I could be in the office one day, be out in the field another day, touring homes with clients one day, and I think that really was appealing to me, is that's what I enjoyed about the radio and TV career that I had. What I've adapted to as far as like with the buyers specifically, I like them to come into the office. I like to sit down with them. I have a guide that I've created. It's called Buying Your Home. And it's a guide that outlines the process from step one of getting a pre-approval to using the MLS, to going out and looking at homes. Talks about the inspection, finance and appraisal, and so on and so forth. And it's been really helpful to go over that with them, as well as the real estate purchase contract. So at that moment when we're ready to write an offer, that they're not asking questions about, well, what does this mean, or what is this, or what's the next steps here? There's kind of that critical moment once you take off where, you know, it's that moment where it's either all gonna work or something's gonna go wrong. And the more preparation that you've gone through really makes it so that moment when you rotate or come off the runway, that you don't have such that knot in your stomach. And so, you know, that's usually going through checklists and processes. And so I've tried to implement those checklists and processes into my buyers and sellers, I've already mentioned, with the buyer checklist and going through that consultation. And generally speaking, from 9 to 9, I'm available. I'm very responsive to go to show people homes or to meet with them. People want that luxury level of service regardless of the price point. So if I help these people at $200,000, I'm still giving them the service that we offer our $2 million clients. One thing I was taught a long time ago is that the one thing you can give to somebody that no one else can is your time. For me, I like to show up and see that culminating moment when I can get in there, help them unload boxes out of the U-Haul, help them put their kids' rooms together, bed frames, whatever, and just to see that whole moment come together and their friends all appreciate the house that they bought or sold or what. It's been much more rewarding than just getting to the closing table, signing papers and shaking hands and saying goodbye. Family is the most important thing. There's nothing more in life that makes you happy. And my son can cause frustration just like any 2-year-old as he's trying to learn, you know, how to turn on the faucet or certain things and when the right time is to do those. But the reason I get up every day is for him and my wife. It's to be with them, and it's to go to work and be successful so I can come home and spend time with them. There's just never been a sales meeting that I walked out of prior to being at Sotheby's where you just walk out and you're like, I can do so much more. I have so much available to me. I could be this much more successful. It's just all right here. I just need to use those products. Just the amount of organization that our whole office has. You talk about checklists and processes. I mean, mine just seemed like on such a small scale to what everything that our office and our whole organization, some at Sotheby's International Realty does. It's just absolutely impressive, and I just can't imagine being with a different organization.